111, this is your call to wake up. We are here to shift with you.
In this video, we're going to talk about how to give your child choices that are meaningful to them and allows them to have some control over their life. But let's be real. What you're really here for is cutting down on the tantrums and making your life a little bit smoother.
My name is Viviana.
And I'm Sharon.
We are Tierra Angels 111.
Go ahead and subscribe to our page if you want to see more videos on how to heal and flow into love. So let's get started. If you find yourself thinking several times a week, I only want her to put on her clothes for the day, how did it turn into World War III? Then learning how to give your child choices is going to be a powerful tool.
For a moment, consider things from your child's perspective. How much control are they allowed each day? The younger they are, the less control over what they do. From when they get up, go to sleep, eat, go to the restroom, and play, where they go, who they see, how their room is arranged. Virtually every part of their day is controlled by adults. But as children get older, they start to develop their own preferences and try to exercise more control over their environment. For parents, this is a good thing because one day we want independent children who can take care of themselves. But it becomes difficult when their desire in the moment doesn't line up with ours. They want to keep playing, you need to go to the store. They want to stay in their PJs. You need them to get dressed. Let's go. This is where giving your child choices can be highly beneficial to you both.
So let's take a look and consider what giving your child choices looks like right now. Because maybe you are trying to give your child choices, but I know that in the past, giving my child choices sounded something like this. You can clean up the toys or go to timeout. And I'd be willing to bet most parents have said something similar at some point. But when we consider that sentence, what we really see is that we aren't giving a choice at all. We have one desired outcome, which is clean up the toys. And in order to coerce the child into doing that, we give them a negative choice as the alternative. Go to timeout. It would be like a boss saying, redo this report or you won't get a lunch break today. In fact, the more you think about it, we're actually asking the child to choose between two things that they don't want to do. Cleaning up, they don't want to do. Timeout, they don't want to do.
To really give your child choices, let's look at the scenario. Julio, who is 4, is playing contentedly with his Legos, building towers and castles while his mom gets ready for work. She finishes up and goes to check on him. She sees that he's building a tower and tells him, Julio, you have 1 minute to finish your tower before we clean up. After the minute is up, she says, Julio, you have a choice. You may pick up the blue blocks or red blocks first. Which do you pick? He says, blue blocks. The mother smiles wildly and says excitedly, Julio, you chose to pick up the blue blocks first. Julio smiles then, begins putting them in the Lego bag. Julio's mom then goes through the whole process with the rest of the colors until all Legos are put away.
In this scenario, the mother did some very important things to make giving her child a choice successful. First, she gave him a time limit to finish up what he was doing. Children are just like adults and like to finish or at least wrap up what they're doing in the moment instead of being told to quit cold turkey. She then stated that Julio had a choice and gave him a choice on what he wanted to start with. The only question she asked was, which do you pick? That is important because she didn't start with a question like, are you ready to clean up? That leaves room for the child to say no. And we all know that really isn't an option. Those kinds of passive questions often leave children confused because they think that the adult is giving them a choice, but what the adult really means is, it's time to clean up. So Julio's mother didn't give him an option about whether or not to clean up. She gave him choices on how he wanted to start cleaning up. The next thing she did was acknowledge and affirm the choice he made by saying, Julio, you chose to pick up the blue blocks first. You may be thinking, why is that so important? But acknowledging and affirming actually does a few things for kids. Number one, it tells the child you heard their choice. Number 2, you are affirming the choice, which validates the child in that specific choice. And number 3, it shows your child that they can make choices and decisions, which will make a big difference in the future when they're faced with choices and decisions.
Almost every parent has times or situations that they know are triggers for tantrums. Right now, I want you to make a list either on a paper or mentally of the times you know that your child struggles with being directed to do something. Off the top of my head, a few examples come to mind. Bath time, cleaning up, getting dressed, going to bed, leaving the park or something fun they're doing, and homework. We could go on and on. Think of the situations in your house that can be difficult. You can pause the video right now if you need time to think about this before we go on to the next part.
Now, for each of the difficult situations, think of positive choices you could present your child with. Examples for bath time could be, do you want to take off your shirt or shorts first? Wash your hair or feet first? Getting dressed, would you like to wear this outfit or this one? Do you want to put on your shirt or pants first? Going to bed, you could say, would you like to brush your teeth first or go potty? Would you like your stuffy on this side or the other side? The choices don't have to be super complicated, just positive choices that will result in your wanted outcome. Choices should be kept to 2 or 3 options because too many will be overwhelming. And you may think giving more options as they get older is better, but research actually shows that people are more satisfied with their choices when there are fewer to pick from. So keeping it to 2 or 3 is best. It may seem funny to make a list of choices or think of them beforehand, but trying to do it in the moment, believe me, when things are getting intense, usually doesn't work out so well. Plus, you want this tool close at hand to use before you get into a sticky situation so you can avoid that situation altogether.
Giving your child choices accomplishes several things. The first being cutting down on the tantrums, which makes life smoother and easier for both of you. If you aren't asking passive questions and are offering positive choices before situations turn intense, then tantrums become few and far between. The second thing is giving your child choices. It validates that they are able to make choices, which creates adults who aren't afraid to make decisions and can voice their opinion while feeling confident.
Some children may not want to make choices when you try this, but that's because they're used to having so many things decided for them. To help them be more comfortable in making choices, begin by pointing out all the choices they already make. It can be things that seem insignificant, but as long as it's a choice made by the child, it doesn't matter. You can point out things like, you chose to put your right shoe on first. You chose to help your brother clean up. After a while of having choices and decisions pointed out to them, they'll be more willing to make a choice when presented with one.
Now, is giving your child choices going to solve everything and eliminate tantrums altogether? No. But it is one tool that you can use that makes your child feel like they have some say in what is happening to them, which teaches them to be independent. This will cut down on the tantrums enough that you will notice a big difference. So, thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to our channel to hear more videos like this. I love you. We are Tierra Angels 111.